Bienvenidos a Desde Cero con Manuel. Welcome to Right From the Start. I'm your host, Manuel Longoria, and today on the podcast we have Pete Carlos Jr. Pete, bienvenidos al podcast, man. Welcome to the podcast.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for being here, and what we want to do is we want to get to know you before we get into the conversation. So,
Okay.
Pete, where were you born, Pete?
Honestly, it was like in Brian.
Right.
I met a Brian. Yes,
Brian,
sir.
Texas. What year?
I ain't gonna say that. Let's leave that out of the picture.
Los early 70s.
Vamos a ir los early 70s. Vamos a los late 70s, por ahí.
Yeah. And your parents? Who are your parents?
My mom, Pedro and Mary Carlos. And I'm gonna say this about them that I'm gonna say, like, a lot of people grew up different ways, y esto, el otro, whatever, but because I hear, I've always been in the public eye and I hear a lot of stories, a lot. But I can't say those stories for me because I actually had great parents. Yeah. They're still both living, and they're, I can't get better parents than that.
Right.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah, and we're going to mention in a bit, but, we're kind of family, We grew up together, and we can say we're family, but your siblings, tell me about your siblings before we go.
I got 5 brothers, and they're all good. They all live it. They're all grown. They're all doing extremely well.
Give me all their names.
Michael, my brother Michael. I'm going to go down the road. After me, because I'm the oldest. See Michael, then Mark, and then Carlos, Adrian, and John. John, the last one, is the only one that actually finished college. And he lives in Conroe now. He moved from Houston. He's doing really good. I'm real proud of all my brothers, though. Todos tienen sus cositas.
Sí.
And I'm really... that's one thing I can say about my brothers. They're doing their own things, and I'm proud of all of them. I've done my things, they've done theirs, and that's a good feeling right there.
Do you remember all the nicknames?
No, but yeah, y todavía los tienen. El Chango, el Marrano, el Pollo's the biggest one.
Pollo's the one I remember.
El Kitty, everybody knows him as Kitty. Even in college they would call him Kitty, my little brother. Oh, yeah, el Chango. And you already know me being el Coqueno. So,
el Coqueno.
Yes, sir. But man,
where did that come from, man?
They said that when I was little, I used to walk backwards a lot. And I don't know if you know Coquenos work backwards. So I was like, damn. Well, that's where I got it. Okay.
Married, kids?
Tengo un son, pero, es una cosa acá, Right. And then, con mi wife, no tenemos kids nosotros. I've been married now for a long time, actually, 22 years, and really good, really, really good. Oh yeah, we travel a lot. We have 8 godchildren. We have a big family in our family. So yeah. I don't worry too much about kids because we got so many kids. It's crazy already.
Right. So, how was it growing up for you?
The way here una cosa, it's a lot. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know, me and you know each other.
Right.
But before I was 15, my dad, he was trying to make it, work for this company, whatever. But 6 boys back to back is real hard. And we lived all 6 boys in one room, 2-bedroom house on McCullough Street.
Right.
And all of us in one room, bunk beds and then another bed, 2 in each bed. And I still tell people up to this day, when people got an abundance of cosas or all these things that you see that we got now or whatever, it's crazy. But there was a time I remember my papa would go to the Whataburger, and Whataburger wasn't as big as it is now, right? But he would buy a Whataburger and he would buy for the kids 3 hamburgers and cut them in half. Mm-hmm. That's how poor we were. We were really not great. But my dad, for some reason, started doing extremely well. Right. Y así cambió todo. Pero la cosa es that what I'm trying to tell you is that those days are unforgettable para mí, porque now I actually look around me a lot. My wife could tell you that. I look around at everything that I got and what I don't have. Isn't it funny? Those days back then, para mí, they meant a lot, like a lot, because the littlest things make me happy. The littlest things make me happy.
Yeah, it pretty much made you who you are today, right?
Really, to tell you the truth, yeah, because everybody knows that I really am, I like to help out everybody.
Yeah. And the way we know each other is because of your dad and my uncle, Andy Carlos. Yes. They're brothers.
Yes.
Right? And and your dad and mi padrino, my godfather, Andy Carlos, they work construction.
Yes.
So your dad kind of went on his own and started his own construction company,
for the state
right?
of Texas, yes, for the state of Texas. Mainly building bridges and on the highways, not foundations like me to Andy. But that's what he did. And I worked with him when I was little, and I worked with him when I was older. And one of the things, I love it, pero the thing about that, you really got to want it real bad, and these guys are born for that. I give it up to my dad. I don't really like to say names, but there's a few good guys that do the construction work out here in Bryan College Station and all over the place, and they stand out to me because they're doing really good, and they keep on doing it. When the heat waves that were coming in recently,
right,
they were still out there.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody else wanted to be out there, but they were out there.
That's what they do, man.
That's the life.
Right. Is your dad still working, or is he retired?
Man, I can tell you my dad's living a good life. He's calmado, retired. He's good. He happens to have a neighbor that really loves him. And, boy, they take care of my dad. And my dad helps him do his work. And when he's in Conroe with my brother, my dad gets, I don't know if you know Conroe, but they have all these tall trees. So anybody that needs to clean their brand new lots, they call my dad. There you go. Okay. My dad takes his tractors. Y vámonos. So
he's still going. He's still going at it. Then.
Yeah, but he's really retired now, and he's doing real good.
Yeah, Pete, tell me about your middle school and high school days.
Man, I'm gonna be honest now.
That's what the podcast is about, man.
I'm gonna tell you.
Dilo, say it.
You'll see. Cuando estaba chiquillo, I ain't gonna lie to you. I would. One of the things about me, girls were a big thing to me. So as I was a kid, 14, whatever year, andaba atrás de muchas. Pero la cosa es que school, I was always good in school, but I just didn't wanna. This is the big story you need to know about me. You don't know this one, Manuel, but when I was in 9th grade, I stood up in front of the class, and this is just me. And I said to the teacher, it was right after lunch period, and I still remember it because I said, I think it was history. And I said to the teacher, hey, I'm here 8 hours. Are you going to pay me to be here 8 hours? And the teacher goes, no, sit down. Back then the teachers could tell you whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sit down. And I'm standing up, and everybody's looking at me crazy. And my friends, which they still know me today, whatever, and they said, no, you're not going to pay me to be here. And the teacher looks at, I said, sit down. Well, not me. I said, no, you know what? I'm going to quit school. So this is me in the 9th grade. So this is my second year in the 9th grade. So I'm walking out of school.
Wait, your second year in the 9th grade?
Yeah, but I flunked because I didn't attend it a lot.
Oh, okay.
But so I was making at this point B's and A's. So B's and A's. But I just couldn't get it together that why wouldn't they pay me to go to school in my mind? And here I am. So when I'm walking to school, Manuel, you're gonna laugh. I'm walking home. And I'm going home. And then all of a sudden, I see this restaurant that needed help in downtown Bryan, my brother, Los Norteños. And Miss Patsy Espinosa, que Dios descanse, and she tells me, I look in there. I was only 15 or 16. And she tells me, ¿Estás listo para trabajar? And she, like a little cuss word at me. Uh-huh. And she goes, I said, I never had a job in my life, bro. And I was coming home from work thinking how in the hell I was explaining to my mom and dad, that I quit school. So, well, she throws me an apron. And that very day, I started working at Norteños. But here's the crazy part. So my mom and dad, I don't come home from school. They were going crazy. They don't know what was going on with me. I didn't think about that. So they had called the sheriff. They called the police. And here I am finally coming home at nighttime, walking home in the nighttime. I get home about 10, de Los Norteños. This is true now. So I'm getting home, and I was just a kid. And I'm thinking to myself, ooh, my dad's going to beat my little booty for quitting school. Pues no. Llegué a la casa. Remember what I told you, that we didn't have a lot growing up. Right. So here I get home, and mi papá, ¿dónde fregas estabas? Y que le hablamos a los policías. Y mi mamá también, like, where were you? Can we call the sheriffs? So I'm like, I quit school. And they like, de volada, like, you ain't gonna quit school. So I had my hands behind me the whole time. And I said, well, I got a job, Dad. And he looks at me like kind of crazy. He goes, what do you mean you got a job? I said, I got a job coming home at a restaurant. He looks at me all crazy. And my mom's like, you're not gonna quit school. And I go like this. I put my hands in front of me. I had 2 bags llenos de tacos.
Did they change their mind?
So everybody calmed down for a little bit because of the tacos. Because remember, we didn't have a lot growing up. Right. So I was like, okay, I se calmaron poquito, and then I started working. I went back to school a little bit, and then I finished 9th grade or whatever. But I remember I still kept my job there at Norteños. That was the first job I ever had, and I did that for like 3 years. And I was a cook in the end because I like to cook a lot. That's one thing about me that people don't know, that I like to cook a lot. So. But that's how I started, man. And that was my school right there. I thought in my mind I mean, it's the craziest thing that they should pay me to be in school. And my dad said, "You got a crazy set. Why would you think that?" He goes, "I don't know, Dad. I mean, I just here 8-9 hours."
Right. So did you finish high school or no?
No. Yo saw out of my brothers, I'm the only one that didn't graduate.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you. So now that I'm older and I've done all these things or whatever, a lot of kids do come up to me. I just had a kid recently in one of my loterias, because I do loterias all over Brooklyn College Station. And this kid, the mom was talking to me, and my son is doesn't have no drive, Pete. He doesn't want to do much. He's 16 years old. He's in front of me. So I'm talking to this kid. I go talk to him because the mom asked me to. So I'm talking to this kid. And I guess this generation is different, but I love all the kids, no matter what they say. So I was talking to him, and I told him, what do you like? He goes, I like music, like me and you. Mm-hmm. He says he likes music. He says, oh, okay. Oh, I know. I said, well, let me tell you, I suggest you finish school first. That's more important than anything these days. I said, but, I mean, start doing something with music. Maybe you'll get, like Animal, because he's one of these kids that's just, like, scared,
Right.
Which there's a lot of kids like that. So I'm like, okay. Okay. So, I had a good talk with him, whatever. By the end of the night, I was DJing a little bit. He comes up to me and he said, thank you, and whatever. And I was like, no, we're good. We're good. I just want to make sure that they get the right path, because some kids these days, I notice, isn't that funny? In my family, they're all like, oh man, they talk a lot. They ain't shy at all. None of the kids.
Right.
But I've seen kids that are real shy, and they're afraid to say what they really want. And that's one thing that if they talk to me, I try to push them sort of like positive stuff, what they like, not what they're getting told to like. What do you like?
Yeah. I would get a lot of that at the boxing club, and
I was going to ask you about that.
It was probably the main reason that they would take them to the boxing club is just to getting straightened out. Mm-hmm. You would get a lot of tough little kids that a week later, they were. They were cool because they knew what it was to fight. Yeah, a real fight,
a real difference.
So you get a bunch of stuff like that, and you try to stay positive with them, and sometimes you can see why they were the way they were, and it all starts at home.
Yes, you can.
So it was rewarding, but sometimes it was tough to take. Yeah, but you can only do your part, and let them know what what needs to get done in order for you to make.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's funny, man. Because you look at the stuff now. It's kind of crazy, because, now, we're really close with my dad and my mom. Mm-hmm. Even though I'm the one that least sees them because I'm always working. But it's funny. The little whippings that we got growing up, actually, they mean something now to me. Because if it wasn't for that, we all would have turned out very different. Because we were bad growing up, all six of us, real bad. Right. And the little whippings helped out a little bit,
I think that whole group of us.
Las chanclas and all the stuff. Hombre.
It was all of us.
It was a good day. But I ain't gonna lie to you, I won't trade those for nothing. I won't trade for nothing. I'm gonna say the truth. Yeah, growing up in school, in my younger years, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was always in the corner because I was getting into trouble or getting paddlings from the principal. So it became kind of like a thing for me because I was always in trouble because that was just me. But as I grew up, I started noticing and focusing on things that were like more positive and more this and that, whatever. Now that I'm older, I totally think totally different. I mean, but I needed to go through those things to get to now. I don't know if you understand that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I needed to.
I think every journey that we've taken so far has led us to who we are right now, man.
Yeah.
And like you said, I wouldn't change it for anything.
Yo tampoco. I wouldn't change nothing.
We have some. I've had some really tough times, but
I know
it's let me here, and
yes,
it's pretty good.
Yes, sir.
It's
a good thing.
So right after your school, your middle school or high school, what did you do aside from working at the restaurant? You said you worked there 3 years. What did you do after?
Well, there was a time, Manuel. This is when I got to know you as a musician, and me too, right? And a lot of people don't know that I was in a band for 3 years, right? We're Gilbert Becerra and Barrio Band, 2.5, 3 years. And it was good. We went to record in San Antonio, whatever. There was a time that I was only 19. I was working at the restaurant, helping my dad concrete. Oh, no. I had already left the restaurant. So I was doing, ¿cómo se llama? Helping my dad till 12 or 1 with the concrete. Okay? And then I was running a bar at 19 years old, okay? ¿Cómo se llamaba? We used to have it on Grossbeck. ¿Cómo se llama? Double six.
Oh, el double six.
That was ours. And my dad gave it to me.
That's
I was 19.
Now I remember.
My dad gave it to me. Like, what the hell? And I didn't even know what I was doing. So that's when I got the touch of the bars and stuff like that. And then I was playing music at the same time. So I was doing 3 things at the same time. So it was a lot of stuff for me, you know. But every day I did that for like 2-3 years. That's when I knew that, you know, hey, you know, work pays off. If you work. So my thing is, yo le digo a mucha gente, you know, let's pretend when I had Papa Top. It's very simple. Man, Pete, que esto, que el otro, whatever. Yeah, but, les digo yo, but while you were sleeping, I was working.
Right.
For 10 years, 10.5 years straight, non-stop. No salía de la Papa Top hasta las 4:35 in the morning sometimes. Yo y Maria sometimes. So while everybody was sleeping, you know, or night in the bars or whatever, I was working. So that's the good thing. I did it so much. I only missed one day, by the way. One day.
Oh, yeah.
I was always there. That's one thing. Yes, sir. It was really good.
I recall that we got together a few times because you started writing songs.
I remember.
And you had a little keyboard, and you called me up and said, hey, I want to show you these songs. Yeah. When did you start songwriting? And did you get anything recorded?
Yeah, because I got 2 songs in the thing in San Antonio that people don't know, in the library in San Antonio, when I recorded with Gilbert Bracero and Barrio Band. So we were on the road a lot. So when we were on the road, because we were playing 3 times a week most of the time, so we were on the road or whatever. We were mainly playing Waco and Tempo and Killeen area a lot. So when we were on the road, I started writing music and the lyrics, and then all of a sudden, one of the guys that did our it was a cassette at the time, right?
Right.
And now he's a big shot. Gilbert, I don't know his last name, Gilbert Velasquez or something like that, from San Antonio. He's a producer, and he said, I'm going to show you how to make this music, and you're going to do these songs. So 2 of the songs came out on our cassette, and there you go.
So you got them recorded?
Yes.
Do you have copies of them?
In the cassettes. The cassettes, which I only have 2 of them now from back in the day. So on cassettes. Isn't that funny that when we recorded cassettes that year, the very next year, CDs came out.
That's what happened to me when I recorded on Prisionero. I wrote 2 songs for that cassette.
There you go.
And then like a year later, everything was the CD. It was like,
I'm like, what?
And I have that cassette right here, and I have 2 songs that I wrote, and,
really?
And they're pretty good.
Really?
And
man, maybe one day I'll get to hear them.
But what made you start doing, writing songs? How many songs did you end up writing? I
actually wrote like 10, and 6 of them we would play, 5 or 6 we would play, but 2 of them got recorded. I actually took a sample of one of the songs from Los Mier and made it into an instrumental. And we used to play that a lot. That way I give the singer a break, Gilbert Bracero.
Okay. What song was that?
Man. It's una fast cumbia. So I took out the words and I made it an instrumental. So we would do an instrumental like real fast. So, and I was the keyboardist. So, I would play 2 keyboards like nothing, right? So, but that was back then. And I was like, isn't it funny? Le dije a mi wife, le dije, you know what, I think I'm going to get a brand new piano, one of the keyboards, the Lenovo's. Le dije, I'm going to put it just against the wall, so cuando I feel like jamming out or whatever by myself, whatever. He said, oh my God. He said, now this house is going to be louder than ever. Because she knows I like all that,
How long were you in a band? How long were you
about
a musician?
2.5 years. About 2.5 years, whatever. And I remember them days because it was fun. And isn't it funny? I wish Gilbert Bracero was here, but maybe about 2.5 years. Pero I just walked into his garage. Little shed they had in the back, just to listen to them. They didn't know me, and I didn't know them.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I started playing with the piano at the house, y la fregada. And then one day, I go in there and I said, I think I can do that. You can do that? They said. I was just a kid. That's what they would call me, Little Pete. I was a kid, and 18. And he said, yeah, I think I can do it. So he said, here's the keyboard. Do what you got to do. And I did it. And then he was like, oh, okay, well. And so they hired me right there.
How did you learn how to play the keyboard?
Because I would watch them there. I would watch him and watch him. I was a fan. So when I would go home and my little keyboard, I would practice and practice and practice. And then finally they were like, you know the notes and all that? Yeah. And then you look at that. I started writing the notes for the music and stuff, adding this and that because I was the keyboardist, the strings y todo. So, which I like that part because you fill in everything. And I was like, And they liked it a lot because it turned the music into something else. Instead of one keyboard, now we had 3. 1 in the front and 2 with me. That's 3. That's a lot of sound. Mm-hmm. So they were like, wow.
Right. So my question is, how did you learn your notes? How did you learn how to play? Everything. Mm-hmm. How did you just listen to songs and play by ear?
Becerra would show me.
Okay, he showed you.
At first, it was the ear, but then Gilbert Becerra would sit right after we practiced. We would go into his home, and he would tell me, "Hey, this is a high E or esto or whatever." All the notes will walk down, all kinds of stuff. So I would learn it, and he would show me as a kid, and he would show me. Gilbert Becerra showed me a lot. I'm gonna tell you the truth, and up to this day, cuando lo miro every once in a while, Pero él es bien buena gente conmigo, and I don't see a lot of the guys, I think one of them passed away already, and 2. Danny también, one of the young kids that came in later, and, Pero I don't really see them a lot now because we're all doing our separate ways. Right. But everybody, when we do see each other, we remember the good times. Okay. I ain't gonna lie to you. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, being in a band, first time I ever drank. Yeah, first time I ever drank. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I never drink when I gig.
Well, no.
Let me rephrase that. I don't drink anymore when I gig.
Anymore. I was a kid, dude. And then with that day, I remember because I was drunk on stage. But man, they said, "God, you played real good today, Pete." I said, "Well, thank you." Oh, wow. I guess I was energized.
Pete, so after the band, what do you start doing?
But to tell you the truth, a lot of it's.
And at what age do you get done? I guess you started at 19, finished at what, at 23?
24.
24.
La bar y todo eso, de back then y todo eso. Because remember, I had a bar at the same time.
Double six.
That I had to do.
Does that shut down?
Dad. Uh-huh.
It shut down?
Yeah. We sold it. My dad sold his things to it. Okay. So, la verdad es que after that, I worked for a big company, Neutral Posture Ergonomics, and man, that company right there treated me extremely well, especially the owner. And then it was funny. I had just started working there 2-3 months, and they hired this new guy. Now this is my mentor, in case you want to know. And recently I had like food with him. So I'm David Ebner, and I was working on Neutral Posture for 2-3 years. Months. And then all of a sudden they hired this guy, and he looked like a nerdy old guy. And I just started talking to him. He goes, "You know what? I'm going to make you the supervisor." I said, "Okay." But I was thinking a supervisor like, a section, 10 people.
You're the partner.
10 people. Hell no. He made me over 40-something people. Oh, my. What? So in 3 months, he made me a supervisor. And I lasted in that position for like ever, close to when I was walking out. I worked there for close to 14 years, and that's it right there. And that was my life right there. That became my life because it was something that I really liked.
Right.
Oh yeah, I really came real good at it.
So you I guess you leave the company, and at what point do you start running your own business? Was it after that, or did you do something else?
This is way after. So I decided that after Neutral Posture, me iba a ir con mi papá. Because, back in the, I always wanted to help my dad. Now I'm older, and I said to myself, but not old. I said, can I handle this? Working with my dad in the construction, he was doing that big old puente on 2818, the one that goes in front of HEB and all that. Right. Those are my dad's bridges. He built them. We built them. So I said, you know what? Let me go with my dad. So we were all over the place. So 3 years and a half, I was with my dad, getting down, doing all kinds of construction. Sealy, Texas, muchos pueblos, all over Texas, because we were all over. Sometimes he would send me in a crew somewhere, and they would be somewhere for 2-3 weeks, and then I would see my dad, So I loved it. Pero más que at one point, ya estaba yo like, Don't think I was real fit, by the way, when I was doing it. I became extremely fit, so there was nothing for me. Right. So I remember one day, I never go to bars as a older guy. So all of a sudden I go into this place. I'm going to tell you the true story. So I go to this place in downtown Bryan. It's called Papa Top. They had been open for exactly 1 year and 1 month. And all of a sudden now, one of my friends, he's one of my best friends. His last name is Arredondo. I'm not going to say his first name. And this guy's there, and I meet him, and we're talking. So now I'm going there once a week. So once a week, remember, because I still got all these jobs, and I'm doing all these things. Okay. So one day, we were there. It was the weirdest thing. And he goes, they're going to sell this place, Pete. Why don't you buy it from me? Buy a bar? Why would I buy a bar? I wouldn't do that. I did that when I was
already
little.
did that, yeah.
And he goes, no, I bet you can turn this place into something amazing. Little did I know I was going to be, it became something too amazing. Every day, my wife can tell you, full of people, 7 days a week for all those years. It became amazing. Problems here and there, good times here and there. I like to be around the people a lot, barbecues, all kinds of stuff. Great things. It became like a family. So, la verdad es que cuando that happened, that I decided to get it from se murió ya el señor that sold it to me, pero he owned a lot of stuff in Caldwell. And Dave, and he sold me the bar. He had issues, so he sold me the bar. He couldn't be there no more, so I took over, and it lasted for a long time. But I mean, with time, you know what? I gotta honestly say it. You know, I'm so blessed because of the people. You know, it was a different time now. Because these days, you see, that's what it brings me down, because I see all these places and through the week they're dead or not good or whatever, and they're great places. Pero la gente they perceive things, or they have a notion of it, or it has a stigma on it already, or whatever. So mine was, I'm gonna honestly say it, the wildest place you could ever think of. But it was always full of people for some reason. It was a family. So, you know, the thing about it is, I believe this. Y le digo yo a todos, when you start, I'm going to hire a manager, y que esto, y que el otro, whatever. If you got a bar or a restaurant, and you do all that, you're already making a mistake. A restaurant, sí, but on a bar, you're making a mistake, because the people want to see the person, because that person right there that owns it is the one that makes the biggest decisions for it. And, you know, it's a hard life. It's not an easy life, I'm going to tell you now. It's not an easy life at all. Pero, you know, and it's part of life, and don't think that my wife didn't want part of it. She wanted to run away from it at one point.
Right. What was the hardest thing about running the bar?
Well, there was one point that I just became hard-headed, and my wife didn't understand it, but I would actually get up in the morning after getting home at 3, 4 in the morning, and I would wake up at 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, and go to the beer distributors with my trucks or whatever.
You went back to work?
They would not, I wouldn't let them deliver to me. She didn't understand that. But I wanted to do it myself, so I did it myself for the last 5 years. And But it always kept me like in the place and always doing my things, and it was good. And even I'm gonna tell you, on the last day when I had to shut down, it was crazy, because I was feeling really, really sad, but I thought there was nothing after that. But guess what? Little did I know, okay, you know.
Didn't you move like next door?
I took no, they were just my friends, you know, and I was there DJing, helping them out a little bit here, just and that. Pero little did I know, there's a lot of opportunities out there. There is. Now, the biggest question I get asked, my wife can be here, I wish she was here to tell you. We hear it every week from different people. When are you going to open up Papa Tops again? Papa Top again? What the Papa Top? We hear it nonstop. Messaging me, all kinds. Pete, when are you going to open your bar? When are you going to open it? Because when you do it, you already know. Pero to tell you the truth, I think... para mí ahorita no quiero eso yo. Right. Not no more.
It's something that you just feel, because when I retired from boxing, I closed Longoria Boxing Club. It was like, I'm done right now. You know, maybe
How long
later.
Did you have it, Manuel?
I had mine for 12 years, Longoria Boxing Club. Okay. And me and Joe coached for 14. I was with Joe 14. I did it 25 years pretty much. That's a long time.
It is a long time for boxing. No, it's a long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Why do you think Papa Top was so popular, and why do you think the people, you know, came to you to?
I'm gonna say the truth. I just, you know, I love everybody, man. That's one thing about me. Que la gente sabe, everybody knows. I mean, honestly, I don't care what color you are, what you got or what you don't got. I'm nothing like that. Right. I'm a guy that likes everybody. Everybody. I can associate with anybody at all times, everywhere I go. People that talk to me. The reality of it, you know, yo soy bueno con todos. No me gusta ser buenos con unos y con otros no. That's just and I see issues as, now I see, like, let's pretend something was to pop off, like they say, whatever. I see them as, let's just do it the right way. Talk about it. You don't need to be excessive or angry or all this and that, whatever, because that's what I see a lot now. everybody's sensitive. And that's a big thing that I get a lot. That why is everybody so sensitive down? Whatever. And you're like, para mí eso, no. That's just, I've been places, I'm not going to say the names of the restaurants, where people are fighting. And I'm like, just watching them, but usually it gets worse because the way they handle the situation. Instead of being, hey, man, you don't, calmaos. You know what I mean? Calmaos. Pero that's the best way to handle issues instead of escalating it to something else. You know what I mean?
What would you do different if you were to open up another bar?
A lot of people ask me that. Believe me, a lot of people ask me that. But to tell you the truth, I would do one formula and that's it. The formula would be pretty simple. I would not be doing this and doing that and extravagant this and that. I was just gonna open up a bar, come have a good time, good music, good beer, whatever. The best DJs, because let me tell you, all the DJs in Bryan, College Station, I gotta give it to all of them. Todos son buenos. Apenas estoy conociendo más because I help out at Silverado a lot with my friend Joel and them, and help them out a lot. So Maria does too, my wife. And one of the things about me that todos los DJs, me gustan todos. Everybody got something. I can mention them all. One of the ones that I do, he's one of the best ones to me, and not best in the music. He's a good person. He's a good person. Jam and Drew, él es bien bueno con toda la gente. He tries to be good con todos.
Yeah, he's been around for a while.
He's been around for a while, and he's like a family man. And I think that's where he's a family dude. So he sees the what's in front of you, not just that's one thing about me, because I'm DJing now too. But you don't DJ for yourself. You DJ for the people. And that's a big thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I think.
So talk to me about promoting, being a promoter.
Oh, man.
Is that what you're doing now?
That's one of my main things.
Talk to me about that and how you got into...
a lot of people don't know this part, but I try not to tell a lot of people, but sometimes people will call me up, hey, can you do this for me? Can you do this? Now, money-wise, that's one thing when I do businesses. But usually my friends and all them that got stuff, it's the easiest thing, and let's just pretend, Manuel. Okay, you open up a brand new business, and I see you post it. Why am I not going to share it? I want you to make it. I want to share it. I want to talk about it. I want to do whatever. I want to do whatever it takes for you to succeed. That's what I want. I mean, it'd be great. I would love to see you succeed. Pero yo creo que mucha gente sometimes, mira, it's not envidia. I don't know what you call it, but instead of doing that for their friends or pushing the button or whatever, which I don't understand why they wouldn't do it, because it helps out everybody. Remember that person got a family, okay? He got kids too. He got to feed the kids, everything. It goes down the road. One of the things that I like about Debbie, she's always talking about support local. She's right, support local.
And when you mean Debbie, you mean
Debbie from Casa Rad.
Right,
and she's like my sister now, and all of them, they're like my real family. I love them all. But when you say support local, they're really, it really, I had to think about it for a while. But to tell you the truth, it's the small businesses here in Bryan College Station. What about those businesses? We want them to make them because that's not a company. Right. That's not 30, 40 of them. It's just one. So it means a lot. When she says that, I understand it a lot more than now than ever, to tell you the truth. I really do. And helping everybody out or this and that or whatever. When I do loterias también for the people, whatever. I love doing loterias because I'll do like a slow day at somewhere or someplace, whatever. Turn it into something great, sales or whatever, and everybody having fun or whatever. But the main cosa para mí es que todos tienen la chance de hacer algo. It's up to you if you really want it to succeed.
Right. And speaking about local businesses and small businesses, what do you think we need to do more to support these?
Honestly,
is it just sharing? Aside from buying from local businesses.
Honestly, I think la cosa. Now you got Facebook. And that's a big format for a lot of stuff. Everybody knows it. It's big. So let's pretend a small business comes to play in Bryan College Station, whatever, and they decide not to promote their food or whatever. They just think that word of mouth is going to be enough. No, it's not enough. It's not enough. You really got to put yourself out there now, because there's a lot of competition. That's one thing about this city. Isn't it funny? Some of the biggest restaurants have closed down. I'm not going to say the names of them. But there's a lot more opening up, which is good. We have a variety aquí. So, porque hay tanta variety, no todos ganan a lot of people like they used to. You see what I'm saying? And it's true. because they've actually wrote about that. Because so many restaurants now, so many options. Not all the restaurants are packed like they used to no more. They got maybe half what they used to have, but that's Bryan College Station. It's growing, and I actually like it growing. I like it. I like to have selection. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have my certain restaurants that I go to a lot.
Right.
But then every once in a while, like before I came here, my wife said, let's try something different tonight, honey. So you know what? Yeah. When I get home, just tell me where you want to go. We'll go somewhere I've never been, probably. Mm-hmm. And there you go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let's get back to your promoter thing.
Well, that's what it is. That's what it is. Like, let's pretend somebody asked me to help them out with promotions.
You promote businesses. You promote
if they ask
people.
Me to, yes, and
promote podcasts.
I can. Believe me, I actually can.
Promote the podcast.
That's what it is about. Like, let's pretend if a company was to call me, hey, Pete, we got issues with this and that. Can you help us out or start so people can know more about the business, whatever. I'll actually do it for real, like on a business level. I've done it already, and I've done it a lot of times. But for my friends, acá, whatever, they don't have to go through me. But let's pretend it's a company or a business. I will do it business-wise, acá, So that's what it is, and yo conozco mucha gente me conoce. I mean, God knows. So la cosa para mí es que my thing is for the company the best way to make it, if I cannot get you to where you need to be, then I don't need to be there.
So Pete, when you had the bar, you had a couple of shows there, a couple of bands show up, right?
Oh yeah, back in the days.
What kind of bands did you?
Era Tejano bands, and I remember Tierra Mala, Mr. Joe De La Rosa, que paz descanse. Steve De La Rosa, that was their pops, right. And all them, and I had a lot of them. The cumbia group from Bryan, ¿cómo se llamaban? Juvenilo and all them.
Right.
You remember them? Yeah. So I had a few bands out there, and it was good. I liked them. But then also I helped Alquimia for a while, and theirs were real good. Alquimia that opened up during the close to COVID season.
Okay.
And there was some good shows. I brought, like Michael Salgado down, David Olivares, I brought him down, people like that. And it was good. So all that helps a lot, like I like bands like that. I actually like big bands. That's me, because, one of the things that one of my friends, and I love this, I'm going to say his name too, Steve De La Rosa told me something a long time ago. He said, you know what, Pete? Now, Steve did a lot of shows. He brought a lot of bands, and one thing that he told me is, remember, Pete, you don't usually make money bringing bands. If you make something, be grateful. And he's right. Yeah. It's true. I mean, it's true. And, I know all the guys, the guys that really bring the biggest bands, Mexican bands, I know him, and he tells me himself, no names. He says to me, Pete, hell no, I didn't make no money. but he brings the biggest bands for the people. And it is what it is. But does he make money? No. But he does it. If he breaks out even, praise the Lord. That's just part of the game,
Speaking of Tejano music, I wanted to talk to you about Los Tejano bands. What do you think happened to all these bands? These were good bands, man. What do you think happened to Tejano music?
It's crazy. Because now that I DJ, and I was talking to one of the other DJs that I talked to, and I was telling him, just yesterday I told him, and I said, what's funny? Usually when I play now, I play less than 10% Tejano music. I do. I mean, now, that's just me. Mm-hmm. That's just me. It depends on the place. Now, if I'm on a place that there's a Tejano, of course I'm gonna go all out Tejano, all out. Because I love Tejano music. That's what I played. I love Tejano music. I'm a big fan of La Fiebre. I'm a big fan of La Mafia, Los Palominos. Right. Those are my bands, Those are big bands for me that I love. Pero, like, for a DJ like me, like when I'm around a lot of different kind of people, whatever, everybody wants the new stuff. You know that. Frontera, that's the biggest thing. Firme, all that.
Yeah, but at the same time,
Junior H.
You say, well, it's a new time, or there's new music. Mm-hmm. Ramon Ayala is from the 60s.
Yes.
Los Cadetes, Traileros and Invasores. Those bands still pull people.
They still do.
So what happened to the Tejano music? Because if you talk about La Sombra and I think La Mafia is still relevant.
Yeah.
But La Fiebre was also my favorite. Mm-hmm. And all these bands who were like super great,
super good,
and they had the best shows, and they had the best musicians. You know what happened to these bands? You know, with Tommy Tex, you know, we've played with these bands, and there's no way that Tony Guerrero and La Sombra should be opening up for you know what I mean?
I know.
Or Los Garcia brothers,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
These bands open up, but
they don't have the following. Yeah, no tienen la following.
But that's the question. What do you think happened to their following? You know, we're still here. You know, what do you think happened to that?
It's crazy. If you're not in San Antonio or a big major city, really like San Antonio, Austin. Pero for Tejano music, I mean, it is, to me, even though I like it a lot or whatever, you know, I guess a lot of the big places, they rather have something that's going to bring in the people compared to, hey, the people ain't going to support this, so let's not do that. To tell you the truth, that's the number one thing that people say is we're not going to support this. And if you get 100 to a show like that, you know, it is what it is. Like recently, last year, a Palomino thing that we did, and I don't need to tell you the place, but with Palomino thing, I was expecting a good 400, but guess what? We got less than 200.
Yeah, I think I was there because I go to all the Palominos dances.
Yeah, because we actually brought 2 times back to back. But to tell you the truth, that tells you a lot. You know, like you're expecting this, and it doesn't do that because the support ain't there.
Right,
you know what I mean?
and I was there, and I was you know. Watching the whole thing, and there should be more people here. You know, you listen to those Palominos, they got probably the best vocals that you've ever heard, right?
Harmony,
right?
Oh my God!
So you know, it's just upsetting to me that you know people should be. These are the bands who people should be watching.
That's true. That's true. And I'm a big fan of all that. You know, because they're still some of my favorite bands. The Palominos are one of the. That is my actual favorite right there. Right. Pero ¿cómo te digo? I think si hubiera más support para los Tejano bands, whatever. And let me tell you something. Okay, so I think it's 2 years ago, Debbie and Caroline. And Debbie, I just started helping out Casa Rod, and they let me do the lineup, you know, pick bands, whatever. And then they would tell me yes or no. They would agree, we would do it. Well, that was very big in downtown. So I lined up J.R. Gomez, Excelencia, Fama, and another band. And Debbie and them said, let's do it, Pete. Okay, so they did it. And let me tell you, now that one was so big. There was about 2,500 people out there. Now, that was good. It was a good vibe for everybody. Multiple bands. You see what I'm saying? That does good. That does automatic. And it's free. So, you know it's going to do good. You know, so all the vendors did great. Everybody did great. You know, they did what they needed. The shows were great. Pero as far as que me traigas una acá y otra acá, no, I don't think que jala mucho. No. These days, no. Right. Let's pretend, you know.
As far as a show, you know, you sell tickets and put posters up and put the radio.
Believe me, I'm part of that, and that's something right there that it doesn't do as well with the Tejano bands compared to the Mexican bands. Acá y esto, they just don't, you know. They just don't. And tú sabes que como yo ahorita que le estoy dando a Silverado, I'm looking at something really, you know, really in particular. La gente mexicana, the bands that they bring and whatever. I mean, they're so high energy, these bands. Like, real energetic. Oh, my God. They're all over the place. So, yeah, you want to go see a show band like that. You know, you want to go see a show band like that, whatever. Now, me, I love Tejano music because I like to dance. That's me. Yes, sir. That's just me. There was a show this weekend in downtown in Gary Hobbs, and I went to it, me and my wife. I loved it. The music was he sounded so good, Gary Hobbs, like the CD. That's how good he is. Right. He's really good. I like him.
Yeah, and like I said, every time I go see a Tejano band, is all these guys. When you hear them, you know they're so professional, and the musicians, it's.
That's good. Time's changing,
number
right?
One.
Time's changing, you know.
So,
all you hear now is what? Peso Pluma. That's all you hear. Peso Pluma.
Pura tuba.
All this and that. Now, me, if you were to ask me now what I'm a big fan of, I'm going to say it straight out, one of my homeboys got me into it. He just don't know he got me that much into it. Santa Fe Clan. That's my thing now. I'm really big into that. I love his music a lot. A lot.
Yeah, I listen to all of it. I mean, if you ask me, I like Peso Pluma. You know, I like all these bands, Frontera. You know, you listen to that, but you know,
better the older music.
Yeah, but back in the day, you know, just those dances with. not only Tejano music, but when Pegasus and all that stuff, it was different. So
isn't it funny how Joe Lopez right now has been touring with Pegaso on the Amigo for a long time, and that's a ticket you can't beat right there.
Yeah, they're both signed with Monterrey Music, I think.
Yes,
so.
and the other one now, Poder del Norte is with them now too.
Yeah,
so you got 3 bands like that. You got a Tejano, you got a cumbia band, and you got a norteño mix kind of band. You can't beat that. That's the show for real.
And I guess that's what I was trying to get to, is that why don't these big bands take these other, the Tejano bands with them and say, hey, let's show you what
because Joe Lopez is doing it, and it's working out for him, because Pegaso's big. Pegaso Emilio Reina, I'm a big fan of them, man. One of the things about him, I love that band. Even the new stuff, I love it all.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
It's good music.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Real good music.
Yes, sir.
So who's your favorite Tejano band that you've seen live?
To me, it would always be La Fiebre.
La Fiebre.
Yeah, La Fiebre. I like to see them because they're high energy. They really put on a show all the time, and they're about the people. They like to make the people happy, and they're good guys. I know them, so
I remember when they were starting off, and they would come do shows.
A lot of bands would come to Bryan College Station. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, a lot of
La
bands
Sombra
started
was
here.
big here, and then all of a sudden,
they blew up.
Now it's different. Now time is changing, but La Fiebre to me is the band that I like to see it live. I like to see them.
Yeah,
they're good guys, great guys. So
Yeah, and I think they're back at it again. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're actually. I like to say, if you're recording nonstop every year, and the Fiebre is still doing it, and they had a #1 song last year, Cuidado, which stayed on #1 for a long time. Cuídala, and now they're working. So the manager talks to me a lot. So they're working on their new CD as we speak. As we speak, they're working on all. They already got the 12 songs that they're gonna put on it. He told me. They're just working on it little by little when they get a chance, because evidently those guys live in 4 different cities. So it's hard for them to come together all the time, because just like anybody, they have jobs just like anybody.
Yeah, it's just like me with Tommy Tex. I got to go to Houston, and from there we go to McAllen, or even all the way to Detroit.
That's it.
So what are you doing now, Pete? What's going on with Pete Carlos Jr. right now?
Right now, I'm just living life, my brother. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm just. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just really, right now, everything that I concentrate. I love DJing. I'm starting to really like the concept of DJing now. I thought I was never gonna do it, but I really like it, and I just keep it on a low level right now.
Well, I've thought about doing that.
No, it's good.
Yeah, after because at one point or another, I'm gonna have to retire from music.
You would like it, believe me. At first, I was like, man, I don't know if I want to be there at spot for 4 hours. but I ain't gonna lie to you. Recently, I played 2 back-to-back gigs, like doing
is that you got a phone call?
Oh, that's right. So I did I'm not gonna tell you the place, but I did graduation on a Friday, then played for the place. I did, and then the next day, Saturday, I did a wedding, and then played for the place. So both days, I played 8 to 9 or 10 hours.
Oh wow! And is it like different music, or did you just do one genre?
No, because the wedding was very different. They wanted more bachata, salsa, daddy Yankee kind of style, stuff like that. So I have to adapt to that. Music, very little Tejano, very little, A lot of country, stuff like that.
And what other projects you got going on?
Well, this Friday this one was the crazy one right here. This Friday I got one of my, for the first time ever, I do, it's a sorority. And I'm not going to say the name of the sorority, but they actually come to my loteria. A lot of the girls come to my loterias. And I got a sorority.
Explain to people what loteria is.
Mexican bingo.
Mexican bingo.
And I do it at different places, different restaurants or whatever. Right now, the main place, of course, everybody knows Casa Rodriguez is my home, so that's my #1 spot for loterias.
Is there a fee, or what do you guys do?
We do it like that, little money, and we give away a lot of stuff, money-wise, whatever.
And what days are you there?
I'm there at Casa Rodriguez on Wednesdays and Thursdays right now doing loteria. So if y'all want to come out and have fun, it's very fun, and you get to eat good food, ahí también, drinks, todo. We just have a good time.
At Casa Rodriguez.
At Casa Rodriguez.
Or Casa Rod, como le dicen.
Casa Rod.
Con Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline. Oh, yeah. Right? So I see them a lot. They're like my family, like I said. Pero the main thing para mí también es, como te digo, tengo una sorority party este Friday. And then, I'll be at Silverado Saturday. This is just a normal week for me. Saturday, I'll be me and Maria working. Instead of enjoying my friend's wedding, we're going to be working it instead of enjoying it. So, But we'll get to Dan's one or two, I'm thinking.
Well, that's good. Well, before we go, Pete, I think the people want to know what are your 5 favorite movies.
Oh, that's real simple for me.
You got 5?
It's always going to be Scarface for me.
Is that your number 1?
Yes. And who got me into it? Our cousin Andy Carlos Jr. Andy Carlos Jr.
Un saludo para Tachín, ¿verdad?
Hijo Tachín, boy. We went to the movies to see it, and I forgot which movie theater it was. But
it had to be Showman 6.
Was it Showman 6? It must have been. And I was like, oh, my God, this movie right here. Boy, I was tripping out. I was just a kid. And then all of a sudden, that got me, like, the vibe of that movie was something, right? Pero Goodfellas, Casino.
What's your favorite movie? Goodfellas.
Bronx Tale. And this one's the only one that's off of that kind of type of The Sandlot, the boys when they're playing the baseball.
Yeah, The Sandlot.
That movie gets to me every time I see it because that was a good movie. I like it. That's
good. Do you remember going to the Mexican movie theater?
Oh man!
I mean, it wasn't Mexican, but they showed it was Friday nights.
Yes.
And they showed Spanish music.
Yes. Me, Andy, John, all of us would go.
We all used to go.
Geronimo too.
Yeah, we all used to go.
Oh my God, we all go to that. God, I miss those days because we spent a lot of time at Tia Lola's when I was a kid. Me and Michael.
Right.
But I still remember we used to walk over to the movie theater. I think we got our first girlfriends there. I don't know. There was a lot of stuff going on at the movie theater. I'm gonna tell you, we were just kids. I was 13, so it was a lot.
We used to a worker from mi tío Andy used to chaperone sometimes.
Sometimes,
but sometimes we would go on our own.
Yeah, we would walk a lot. Me and the guys. We would go to Mr. Gaddy's in downtown.
Mr. Gaddy's,
oh my God.
There was a Mr. Gaddy's in downtown. Yeah. I think where Subway is.
On the Tara Subway,
yeah,
that's for sure.
There was Mr. Gaddy's.
Those were the good old days, though. Man, I miss those days, though. That's why I tell my wife now. The best thing I can tell anybody is, for me, it's the things that I got around me. I always tell my wife, these things mean very little to me. The material things, they mean nothing to me. Because to tell you the truth, they're great to have. You gotta have them. You gotta have them. Pero la verdad es que when growing up, it took this little to make me happy. The little things.
And it was for everybody. It was all of us.
Yes.
It was all of us.
We were living in a different time. You already know, Manuel, we had the greatest families. Mi tia Lola, mi tio Tacho, everybody, man. Yeah. So now when I see people like, Susana and all them, I love everybody. That's one thing about me. I get along with everybody because I love all my family. Yeah. They can also tell you that. I'm good with everybody.
Well, before we go, P, you want to send a shout out? I think Alejandra said you better give her a shout out, man.
Big shout out to my cousin Alejandra Carlos. And yes, she was a bartender at Papa Tots for a long time.
I didn't know
something.
That.
Oh man, she was something. Really? Boy. She was something. Big shout out to everybody. Todos los DJs, Jammin' Drew, Stein, everybody, Peacock, all the ones, everybody. And then big shout out to my wife, of course, because without her, I'm gonna tell you the truth, I wouldn't be where I am today. Mm-hmm. That's just the truth. Without my wife, now, life is pretty good, but it is because my wife had my back. And I will not ever say that that's not true. That's true, because she is the one behind me. When I want to make mistakes, because I usually do, she will tell me, nah. And I'll be like, okay.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat, too.
Yeah. So I'm going to be honest with you,
Anything you want to add to the podcast, Pete?
Oh, no. I'm just going to say one thing, that I'm really proud of you, because you have, I know your situation. Mm-hmm. And you have come a long way, and I gotta say I respect that, Manuel. I mean, as a matter of fact, Manuel, I don't know how you do it, but I'm real proud of you.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Yes, sir. I'm real proud of you.
It took a while,
mm-hmm.
But
yes, sir.
But I talk to people who lose their kids, and I just let them know that hey, it's gonna be all right, man.
It was rough because I was there at the funeral, and it was. Boy, it was, and I could never say that, I know what you went through. I don't think nobody can say that, to tell you the truth. But what you went through is something that's out of this world, man. And you right now, and the person you've been with, the boxing y todo, you're a mentor to a lot of kids también y todo. I'm going to tell you right now, I am very proud of you, dude.
I appreciate you saying that, man.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate you.
It's the truth.
And I appreciate you coming to the podcast, and it was a good time, man.
Yes, sir.
And I knew it would be. So,
hey.
Pete Carlos Jr., man, thank you for coming. And
yes, sir. Catch me at Casa Rod Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Casa Rod Wednesdays and Thursdays para jugar la lotería.
Yes, sir.
And win some prizes.
All kinds of prizes. It depends. We give all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff.
All right. Well, everybody, please continue to subscribe to Desde Cero con Manuel. help keep us growing, keep the channel growing, and watch this podcast with Pete, and keep watching us, and please subscribe. Okay, and Pete, thanks for being here, and
yes,
we see y'all next time, and thank you guys for watching.
Okay, goodbye.